Welcome back to Crypto Unlimited 22, home of the double deuce where we double down. I'm your host, Johnny Faucet. And here we are, Friday Night Live, once again on Friday. So, a couple of ground rules, guys. Make sure if you're new, you come in here and you hit the subscribe button. And also while you're on the way in, hit that like button. And here we are again, another week in crypto. Ready to get this thing started. We're going to talk about all things crypto and DeFi here. But just remember, nothing we discuss is financial advice. We are not financial advisors. Always do your own research. Crypto is risky. You could get wrecked. You could lose all of your money. So be careful out there in these crazy crypto streets. But we just like to gather up, talk about crypto, talk about some plays this week. We had an interesting week in crypto this week. Had a little pullback, buy the dip opportunity. So let's see how everybody did this week. So without further ado, let's bring them out. Shout out to the thumbnail guy, my right-hand man, Mr. JVANQUISH. How are you doing tonight, sir?
Doing great, Johnny. TGIF. I'm very, very glad that it's Friday. It's been a long week. And as you said, we had a little bit of a dip this week, kind of a lull in the market, but glad to be here. All
right. Also joining us tonight, the Thunder from down under, Mr. Buy These Dips.
How are you guys? Good to be back. Yeah, really interesting week. Lots of dampage and talk that the bull run is over and all this sort of nonsense and people panicking. And yeah, I mean, if you've sold anything that you'd originally planned to sort of hold throughout this bull market in the last week, I don't know what to say to you.
Oh yeah. Also joining us tonight, as always, you might know him as the DeFi guide. Around here, we call him Brandon. Welcome back.
Hey guys, how are you doing? Nice to be here. Nice green candles today. So all my liquidity positions are looking good right now, firing on all cylinders. So TGIF indeed.
Yes, sir. Good stuff this week. Let's get right into it. And we will bring up the Bitcoin chart. Bitcoin, interesting week. We actually recovered very nicely. Let me bring up the trading view chart here. But earlier on this week, we had quite the slight dip. We went under 60K. I think we got as low as even in the 56K region for a minute there, but hovered around 57, 59K there for a couple days this past week. But now we're back into the 60s again. A lot of people thought we weren't going to drop below 60. What's your thoughts on that, Jay?
I didn't really have a thought on the hypothetical 60K. I know I don't know if we talked about it on here. I know we talked about it backstage several weeks ago. I saw a YouTuber on there that was calling 49, and it seemed kind of outlandish. And then it seemed like we were on that trajectory. So I don't know. I just don't think we really know until we know, right? And then you have a lot of the outside forces right now. You know, the Hong Kong ETF didn't really take off the way anyone expected. And then you had some dovish comments the other day, which kind of triggered a reversal, so to speak. So it's really hard to say. There's so many outside factors right now. But, I can't wait till we get into the meat of this bull run.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, buy these dips. What'd you think of this week's dip? Did you load up on any tokens, and you've been monitoring the Bitcoin situation with Hong Kong and all this?
Yeah, no, look, I was keeping an eye on all of that, but look, I mean, it's not surprising to have these sort of pullbacks. That guy that sort of projected the sort of 49, 50K range, that wouldn't have been surprising, or still it's on the table as far as I can see. I mean, in the last bull run, we had no less than 5 or 6 pullbacks in Bitcoin of sort of that 25 to 30% range, or sort of thereabouts. I think we ran up to about 72K. So yeah, 50K would be about 30% off that. For me, it was a pretty quiet week. I was really just observing. Some of the targets I was looking at on certain tokens didn't quite hit. So I didn't buy, other than one, which was a lithium, which I picked up a nice stack of that, and that's down solidly, as has pretty well the whole market in the last sort of 24 hours. So, yeah, it's not surprising. We've had the halvening event. It's usually a time where we see a bit of a drop or some choppy trading. Hopefully, though, over the next couple of weeks, we'll sort of see our way out of this and head into a pretty strong summer.
All right, Brandon, how was your past week and experience with the Bitcoin price?
It's good. It's good to get some green candles. Like I said, I have a bunch of different liquidity positions, and those are all printing nicely now, going up not only in terms of fees that they're collecting, but going up in terms of U.S. dollar value. But look, my mindset continues to be fully long-term mindset. Fiat currency remains the softest form of money ever invented, and Bitcoin remains the hardest form of money ever invented. So it's only a matter of time, maybe months, maybe years. But Bitcoin is going to shine compared to the dollar. Most cryptos are going to be right there with it. I'm particularly impressed with the way that BNB has been holding up. Everything else dipped and made fresh lows just yesterday or the day before. Not BNB. It actually printed a higher low just recently, and it's up just as hard as everything else today. So I think Bitcoin, now that we have all these ETFs, now that we have all these smart money institutional players, they're going to play these kinds of shenanigans. The big players, they don't want to pay a premium. They want to pay a discount, right? So they can really move the market pretty well now with the institutional Bitcoin ETFs. So I think that's partly what's to blame as far as that dip that we saw in the last few days. But it's it's just a blip on the radar screen. It's just a speed bump as far as I'm concerned.
Well, speaking of BNB, we see this story this week?
Yeah.
I swear to God, that's not a real image. Somebody must have photoshopped that hand in there. I think that's an old picture that somebody.
It would have been interesting if he got 6 months.
Well, then the AI that they used to generate that image probably would have been just fine. AI loves to do that weird hand situation.
Well,
It always gets the fingers wrong.
Let's break this down, unpack this a little bit. Now, the fourth thing is because when CZ had a famous Twitter post that had a list 1 through 4, where the 4 was ignore all the fake news and FUD, right?
Yep.
So now they're using it like a pun, almost like the 4 now means 4 months in prison, right?
So that's a legit picture then. Okay, I didn't know that. I thought somebody had photoshopped it and then circulated it, and it was just taking off, going viral, so to speak.
No, I think this is a picture from the past, because he used to have it all the time. Every time that Binance would be in the spotlight, that he would always refer to 4, meaning it's just fake news and FUD. So I do think it is a real picture from the past, but yeah, good stuff nonetheless. What karma, it is that now he's getting the 4 months in prison. But I mean, pretty much, if you look at it in the big picture, it's like a slap on the hand. I mean, the guy's loaded.
Oh yeah, especially the prison that he's probably going to. Completely white collar. It's probably going to be like a resort vacation for 4 months.
Yeah, it'd be the easiest time you ever had. All right.
Yeah, I think obviously Binance and BNB chain, it's going to have to stand on its own 2 feet from here on in. It's going to be interesting to see how it goes. But yeah, you're right. The BNB price has held up well. I mean, it's done very well over the last quarter, really.
Yeah, and if you zoom out and just look at the price action for the last 6 to 8 weeks, it's just a high consolidation. Price made a big move to the upside, and it just chopped around essentially for 4, 5, 6 weeks. That's bullish as far as I'm concerned. It's just high consolidation, getting ready to break out and make new all-time highs. I believe, I'm pretty confident we'll see $100,000 Bitcoin sometime later this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And Yeah, BNB does, the chart does look pretty good in consolidation. Is whereabouts is your ranges set for your V3 liquidity?
Well, I'm not providing BNB USDT liquidity. So I'm providing a bunch of alt pairs. So a bunch of different coins that are paired with BNB. So I have Link, FTM, Doge, NEAR, XRP, Solana, and AVAX. I've got these. I've told you guys about it a couple of times. The Liquid Warriors protocol. We're still we're still in development and testing of that. So I have like 7 bots running now.
Nice. So most of your V3 liquidity is done through that Liquid Warriors project?
Yeah, I just have one DIY position on on ZK Sync. So I'm providing liquidity for Bitcoin and ETH. I'm all about, nowadays I realized it's better for me to provide liquidity in a pool where it's 2 cryptos rather than a crypto and a stable coin, right? Because these cryptos tend to move together pretty well, you know, and if the price goes up, well, I'm just making more ETH than Bitcoin, or if the price goes down, I'm making more Bitcoin than ETH or whatever. I don't really care. I like to have both tokens. So that's what I'm providing liquidity for is basically a lot of pools that have either BNB paired with an alt or ETH paired with an alt.
Nice. And FYI, DYI means do it yourself. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's convenient to use these Liquid Warrior bots because you can set your range, and then if price goes outside of that range, the bot will automatically rebalance your position. So it'll set a new range, and it'll, you know, sell one token for the other to get your liquidity back to 50-50 and then start a new position. So it's fully automated. You know, I try to run with ranges that are fairly wide because every time you do a rebalance, there are costs associated with that. You're going to have some slippage. You're going to have a swap fee. You're going to have some price impact depending on how much capital you're swapping. And for these bots, there's also an Oracle fee, which is just a high level bot that's watching all of the other bots. And anytime one of the bots goes out of range, then the Oracle kicks in, does the rebalance transaction, and then it sucks a little bit of wrapped BNB from your bot's wallet to pay for that. It's only 80 cents, but if you're running a smallish position, few $100, you know, anything less than 1,000, those fees and those costs can really eat into your profits. And even though you're making anywhere from 0.5% to, my best bot is doing like 1.5% a day in fees, the costs eat into that a little bit. So yeah, I'm mostly using those Liquid Warrior bots. I believe we're going to have version 5 deployed here over the weekend. And then G Money, the developer, has said that as soon as we get V5 out, then he'll be ready to sort of open it up to the public. So looking forward to next week. I'm going back to the States from here in Puerto Rico, so probably won't be streaming too much, but I'm really looking forward to, you know, demonstrating that platform and teaching people how to set up their bots and make their choices as far as the ranges and different things like that. So I just have the one manual position on ZK Sync and in Bitcoin ETH. Everything else is through Liquid Warriors.
Nice. All right, we'll get back to V3 in a minute. I think Deshaun sent this over. Osmosis.
This is just a quick hitter. This is Osmosis, which is the main DEX over on the Cosmos ecosystem, where basically all the Cosmos chains interact with osmosis, and you can do DeFi and stuff like that. They're now expanding and putting their hat in the ring for a Bitcoin layer 2. So it could be a pretty big hit for Cosmos and for Osmosis, but that's just kind of for and more of an FYI, probably do your own research type thing, but just for awareness, Osmosis might become a Bitcoin layer 2, which seems like a lot of chains are moving that way right now.
All right, I linked that this article in the chat. If anybody wants to go check this out, feel free to do so. All right, and then you threw something else in the private too, right? You want?
Yeah, I just I put a link to something that I had a real laugh at during the week. For those that don't know, Eigenlayer did their airdrop, and Ran put on this extremely funny video about it because the airdrop's been very, very contentious. Basically, people had to stake their ETH in order to qualify for the airdrop. The more ETH you staked, obviously, the more airdrop you got, and they accepted funds from. Like there was no sort of global restriction on where you could participate from, but when the claiming of the tokens came around this week, they geo-banned a bunch of people, and if you use VPNs, you struggled to claim and stuff. And Rand posted this video. Whoever put this video together he's a funny man or woman. It's a good laugh. You got it? Yeah, that's the one. If you can click on it and play it.
We don't have sound, Johnny.
Yeah. If you can click on it and play it.
I think it's playing. I don't think he's sharing the sound though.
I got the sound now.
No, I can't hear it.
You guys can't hear it?
Not for us. No.
Maybe double click
it. To share and share the system sound.
It's already funny every time I see this guy in any video. So
I know. This is really good though. This is really good. Hopefully you can get it going. You can't double click on it. Doesn't make any difference.
I can hear it. You guys can't hear it?
No, we can't hear it. You got to reshare, Johnny, and you have to share your system sound on StreamYard.
Okay. Let me see if I take this down.
It was just one I come across during the week. I watched it a few times. It really made me laugh.
How do I do that, Brandon?
When you go to present,
yeah,
there's a little checkbox that says share system sound or something like that. Share screen.
Yeah, share screen. Okay. Oh, also share tab audio.
Share tab audio.
Okay, the old tab audio.
The old tab audio.
Audio trick.
All right. That is on. Okay. I think you got it. All right, let's try it again. Let's start from the beginning. All right, you guys can see this?
Yeah.
Y me llama el cocinero. Rexita, ¿qué? Ve por la paellera. Venga.
Yep.
La tarde ya están aquí. Miren, bañador. En las chanclas. Todo despeinado porque no me dio tiempo nada ponerme las chanclas y el bañador. Voy a la playa, había subido la marea. Tú, había subido la marea y encontré una paella. Y la encontré porque estaba la paellera agarrada metida entre las piedras de Chipiona, de Paro. Y cuando entro en el restaurante me ve el cocinero con una paellera que adentro la vende paellera. ¡Asómate! ¡Mira dónde llega el agua! Llegaba el agua hasta el restaurante. Había subido la marea. ¿Y tú? ¡Ay, qué hacemos ahora! Con los dos saco la llama para Sevilla. Llama a Sevilla que traigo es tuyo con el bañado. Con el bañado y con la paella. El cocinero. No veas, para Sevilla. Y al último, que cuando ya salió la bien de regla, estamos llorando. Me cobró el tío la paella. Me cobró a 500 metros la paella. Y ya no fui más. Me fui andando a coger los amarillos hasta hoy. Me mandó por la noche, había bajado el agua y por la mañana había subido. Cualquiera estaba donde la paellera, ¿sabes? A lo mejor está en el barco ese del petróleo.
En el Prestige.
En el Prestige ese. Y ya no trabajé más la cocina. Ya aborrecí la cocina. Ay, ay, pues no cobré nada, me dieron el dinero del bote.
Había mucho dinero en el bote.
Lo que me echaba y el dinero de lo que gané, me cobraron 20 paelleras a 500 caras, porque viste lo que me llevé yo para Sevilla. Ay, ya aborrecí la playa.
Oh.
Hemos llorado los dos. No es para tanto, yo. Así yo no quiero arroz, Jesús. Yo no quiero arroz ni en chino, vamos.
Oh, that is hilarious. Oh, that is very, very funny.
Oh, the good stuff.
I couldn't resist sharing that.
My face hurts from laughing forward. That was great.
Whoever put that together is a genius.
So it was a great stream. Good night, everybody.
Yeah.
I must have watched it about 10 times.
Yeah. So now all them people that they had their East State for years, and then what happened now? They were trying to get the.
Well, they've geo-blocked. So they accepted the funds for staking from anywhere. So it's like, give us your money. But then when it comes to claiming the airdrop, they're geo-blocking people, and anyone with a VPN's unable to claim their tokens. And I believe there's a cutoff date of 120 days or something. If you don't claim them, you lose them, and they take it back. But I mean, it's pretty unscrupulous. I mean, Eigenlayer had, it was really developing a pretty terrific reputation. And it just goes to show you how you can really make a mess of an airdrop. You know what I mean? And I hope the good people at ZK Sync, I mean, they've observed some of the goings on with Starknet, obviously now Eigenlayer. And I mean, really, it's a heads up. You just, you get one chance to keep a community and do an airdrop. And if you stuff it up, it doesn't end well. So, you got to get it right. And that's just, pretty unscrupulous behavior, really.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's why you got to be careful, man. It sucks.
It says, I saw a little news story that says Eigen Foundation to distribute extra $1,000 in Eigen to token holders following airdrop backlash.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a I don't know. Yeah, they're just trying to smooth the waters, but it shouldn't have happened in the first place. I mean, some of these devs and these teams, they just have no idea about they might be great devs and they might have a great idea, but just managing that community sentiment and getting that right. I mean, it's just so easy to get a damaged reputation. And it seems like that offer that you just mentioned there, Brandon's really just damage control.
Well, are they going to fix the issue though? Are they going to unblock?
No, I don't think so. I think probably what's happened, and we'll never know the real truth. I think probably some enterprising legal representative, some sort of consultant they've got, or someone in-house that's handling their legal affairs said, oh, we can't do airdrops to all these people from these countries. That would be illegal. And of course they've put in these things in the aftermath, but it's certainly left a bad taste in the mouth of people. Some people, I think it was Justin Sun put in 200 million in ETH. Some of these people have staked for a really long time, and they've had their funds locked away with the hope of getting this airdrop, and have now found difficult times with it. So,
where is the team? Are they?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure that they are. I don't know. EigenLayer is not one that I farm, to be honest. So I'm not 100% sure on that. But the thing is, with
if they're US based, then they might be facing. They might have changed their tune because of pressure from the SEC or. I
don't think that they are. I don't think that they are. I mean, to be honest, if you're any major new chain or whatever, you probably wouldn't base yourself out of the US in the first place. You'd look for other places to sort of domicile the project. So yeah, it's a disappointing one, because you get one, as I said, you get one chance in an airdrop, and those that get it right really kick on and do great. I mean, there were, Optimism and Arbitrum, for example. I mean, their airdrops were both fair, and they ran without a hitch. And they're good examples of ones that got it right. But there's plenty out there that haven't, and they grossly disappoint their community. And once that community goes, it's history has shown it's really hard to get people back. So getting that airdrop right is, I look at myself with ZK Sync. I mean, whilst I have every confidence that they're going to get their airdrop right, some of the members of the key members of the team have had tweets, on X, sort of saying as much. But until we actually see it, until it actually happens, there's always that risk. I've spent a lot of time and money on ZK Sync, and that's the risk that you take. But we shall see.
Well, it wasn't all in vain. I mean, you basically were just moving money around on ZK Sync to qualify for the airdrop.
Yeah, but I mean, I've spent a lot of time. I mean, it's just been over a couple of years, and particularly in the last year, farming over, managing. Because I mean, as I said, when I sort of presented the ZK Sync airdrop opportunity, would be months ago now. I've had a very pragmatic approach to the ZK Sync airdrop, the same way I did with Arbitrum and Optimism. I keep spreadsheets. I manage what I do on each wallet to make sure that I'm doing the right amount of tasks, that I'm generating the right amount of volume with my actions, and integrating with as many contracts as I can, and I record all of that information, which I think, if you've only got one or two wallets doing it, you probably don't need to, because you can just remember what you've done. But when you're doing it with a lot of wallets, you really need to be highly organized. If you really want to get a good outcome, you need to be highly organized and know what you're doing. And I basically, pretty much every week I'm in there doing something. It wouldn't necessarily be on all wallets. Sometimes it is. It just depends how much time I've got. But if you're going down the road of doing sort of lots of wallets, you need to be highly organized. And I found that just a good old-fashioned spreadsheet is the best way to do it.
Yeah, it's good. You got to know your numbers, and when you,
because otherwise you forget things. You go, okay, I want to deploy a contract on ZK Sync. I think that's a good thing. That might get me an extra airdrop. Well, if you've got 31 wallets, you need to know that you've done them all. You just can't. It's not stuff you can just remember, and when you've done them, and so on and so forth. So, yeah,
you must have even more transactions than I have.
I've probably it does range a little bit. I did there's a few sites out there, and we did go through them where you can sort of check your transactions and volume information. I think on most of my wallets, I've probably got north of 500 transactions, some nearly 1,000 on individual wallets. That's over a period of time, of course. So they've all bought NFTs, they've all deployed contracts, they've all done sort of what I perceive to be sort of the key elements. They've all supplied liquidity. So I mean, I've done as much as I can do. And I also fairly actively used their testnet, which was ArcLight as well. There wasn't a great deal you could do with ArcLight. I think it was just from memory, because it's a little while now ago, but I think we could just do some trading on Zigzag and, you know, sort of mint some NFTs and stuff like that. Obviously now with the mainnet live, there's a plethora of, you know, applications that you can use. So it did make the farming a lot more interesting when the mainnet come along, and there was a lot of new dApps that you could sort of go and have a little bit of a play with. But it was pretty boring. I think Jashan, you did a bit on ZK Lite as well, and there wasn't a great deal you could really do on it, to be honest. But
yeah,
I think ZK Sync probably would have launched their token already if it wasn't for just the prevailing market conditions. In fact, I'm very surprised that Eigen launched when they did, because why would you do it now when you can wait a few months or however long until we get some really favorable sort of market conditions and you can make a bit more of a splash? I mean, in the case of ZK Sync, that this is, I mean, we did a video on airdrop farming, which still holds very true. Actually, I watched it again probably a month or two ago, and a lot of the projects that we talked about back then in that video, because we covered a lot of them, have come to fruition in terms of airdrops. We talked about Arbitrum and Optimism, and ZK Sync was another prominent one we talked about. And you know, that's probably 2.5 years ago. It might even be nearly 3 years ago, that video. So we've been active on ZK Lite and obviously the mainnet for, it's over 2 years, well over 2 years. So
do you
hopefully
use some kind of a software to track all of these transactions for your taxes? I'm just curious, because
definitely. We have one that's more specific to the Australian tax system. So yes, I do, and I've never let the updating of all the transactions in that software go much beyond about a week. Usually every week I just download all the transactions, so it doesn't become a big job. I mean, thankfully, with the majority of the transactions on ZK Sync, they're just trades, so they don't require any sort of intervention from me. Sometimes I find when you're bridging funds or you're providing liquidity, sometimes the system doesn't properly recognize the way it should be sort of inputted. And I found that because I don't know whether it was Coinly or another one, but Max and I did try another software going back a few years ago, and it was good, but it wasn't quite doing what we needed to do for here in Australia. Like, it didn't take into account things like capital gains tax benefits if you hold the asset more than 12 months and all this sort of stuff that's more specific to here. So we switched over and sort of haven't had a problem. But yes, you've got to record all of those transactions. I mean, they're not profitable transactions because or loss-making transactions, in the sense that, you know, I'm just trading out of one asset into another, and usually I just find myself, you know, like if I'm going to do 5 transactions on a wallet, I might go ETH to USDC to, you know, USDT to, you know, WBTC back to ETH, and then I just let it sit in ETH until I use the wallet again. So, you know, because I'm doing those transactions so quick, there's no real, you know, you might lose a little bit in slippage, and of course you accrue fees, which are a tax benefit, I guess. It's a cost when you're airdrop farming. Those gas fees are very much a cost of doing business. Thankfully, the fees now on all the layer 2s are dramatically less. I mean, it's literally pennies. So not much to worry about there.
Yeah, I've definitely enjoyed that on ZK Sync, and all I've been doing on ZK Sync is just providing liquidity for Bitcoin ETH. So it's been, especially thanks to today and yesterday with the market shoving some green candles, it's actually been a profitable, expedition on ZK Sync. And yeah, the fees are phenomenal. Nice and low. Transactions go through quickly. But yeah, I totally hear what you're saying about, you know, downloading or synchronizing your transactions at least once a week. I tend to do it daily into my Coinly account and try to keep up with it every single day. And then I'm still having to go back through transactions in 2022. And it's not only is it super time consuming, but it ends up being pretty painful. Like just to look at the sheer dollar value of like what I was getting from, for example, I had anywhere from 5 to 7 LPs staked on Animal Farm, earning lots of dogs tokens that were several hundred, a few $100 a day.
Yeah.
And of course, I didn't cash in any of those tokens. I just staked them all into the dog pound. So my tax situation is going to be like, oh, congrats, you made $30,000 in farm rewards, but I literally have nothing to show for it.
Yeah,
so I'm going to pay taxes on that, but I didn't make any money. I just lost money. So that's been painful.
Yeah, that's no good at all. That's no good at all. But yeah, to be honest, for me, Max was a bit of a trailblazer for us in terms of the different software. He was sort of trialing quite a few different ones, and I sort of followed suit, to be honest. I figured if it was easy enough for him, it'd be easy enough for me.
Oh, we got a question by Mr. Big about the MetaMask airdrops.
Well, people have been asking about the MetaMask airdrop now for probably 2 or 3 years. I'm a believer that they'll definitely do one. I think they'll have to do one. As recently as a year ago, MetaMask had indicated that they intended to have a full move to decentralization. Now, what does that mean? Well, it means in order to decentralize what you're doing, you have to have a token. So I believe it'll come, and I just get the same sort of vibes as what we saw out of Uniswap. Nobody really saw that airdrop coming, and you woke up one morning and you had tokens. And I have a funny feeling that because no one's really talking, like you go onto the farming YouTube channels and you go onto Twitter, there's not many people talking about a MetaMask airdrop. And I see that as a positive, because not many people, that also means not many people are really farming it. So as I've said on this show before, we're given the choice between, say, bridging on, a regular application, or, the opportunity to bridge on MetaMask, for example. I will bridge from that wallet on MetaMask. And I make a conscious decision to do that because I believe, and even trading, I know their trading fees are a little bit higher. Big amounts, I wouldn't use them for because their trading fees are quite high. But for sort of regular amounts, I always use the MetaMask app, because, if and when it does come, and I believe it will, and I think it'll happen in this bull run. I couldn't tell you if it's tomorrow, next week, next year. I believe it's going to happen. It'll be one of the biggest ones in crypto history. It'll be huge. I mean, outside of Coinbase and Crypto.com, MetaMask have probably got the largest user base in crypto. So it'll make big noise. It's got big backing. So hopefully, if and when it does come, I've done as much as I possibly can on all of those wallets. I also think there'd be a pretty good chance as well that MetaMask may adopt some sort of a reward with their airdrop for, or I guess, rewarding the longevity of your wallet. So people that supported them from the beginning, rather than just new wallets that might have been created for the purpose of farming. I think, if you're party to the 2002 DeFi summer, the only way you were participating was using a MetaMask wallet. So I think those users from back there, and provided they've continued to use MetaMask app services, I think they're probably going to be in line for a pretty big airdrop. I mean, I couldn't tell you how many wallets I've got across different accounts on MetaMask. It'd be very close to 200, but I probably actively only use about 50. But yeah, I just think, if you're interested in the MetaMask airdrop, if you need to trade and you need to bridge funds anyway, I mean, it's not like anything that I do is out of the box and I go out of my way to use, make a trade on MetaMask. It's just making a conscious decision when you are trading or bridging funds to use MetaMask. Why not? If an airdrop comes, you're going to be in the frame.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I used MetaMask all the way up until like last year, and it just had problems like with the different.
Yeah, I was super close to going to Rabby like you guys. There was a couple of weeks there last year where it was just so buggy it was almost unusable, and I was very close to migrating and leaving, and then all of a sudden, it just started working well again, and I thought, okay. And then in the back of my mind, I'm thinking airdrop, and so I didn't make the move in the end. But had those sort of buggy problems persisted for much longer, I would have migrated. But
probably because we all left, so it eased up the network congestion over there.
I don't know. It was slow and it was buggy, and it was just, I can't remember precisely what was going on, but I just remember I rang up Max in frustration one day, and I said, I just can't friggin' use this thing. It's just, it's killing me. But yeah, I certainly think, I mean, MetaMask, if they launched the token tomorrow, would jump straight into the top 10, top 20. They'd have a monstrous market cap. And the other thing is as well is they've got enormous plans for the expansion of what they're doing. I mean, they've already got their bridge. Obviously they've got, you can trade on there, but there's a lot more that they're looking to be doing around staking and so on and so forth. So, yeah, I mean, we know MetaMask as a wallet, but certainly internally, and in some of the videos that I've seen, it's their intention to be much more.
Oh, I can't wait to see it. All right, so I know.
Sorry, Mr. Big said he's farming ETH Meow. Meow was one of the. I mentioned it in the last show that there's a couple of meme tokens on ZK Sync. I mean, if we're thinking that there's going to be which I do, an upcoming airdrop, some of the more popular meme coins on these new chains, can do pretty well. And the two that I've sort of had my eye on is Meow and Zeke Coin. They're the two. There may be some others. I mean, there are others out there, but they're the two that I've sort of earmarked as potentially ones that could do very well. Once you get an airdrop like this, you get a lot of eyes on the chain, and there'll be people out there that haven't even heard of it that all of a sudden, bang, they're bridging funds and getting involved. So it's a really big catalyst usually for user growth. Unless, of course, you stuff your airdrop up. So let's hope that they don't.
I was just trying to look that Meow token up, but I don't know if this is the right one.
Oh, there's probably a few.
It said I made 350,000 Meow. Meow, meow.
Meow. Yeah, I mean, normally I wouldn't sort of do much in the way of meme coins. I just kind of think with this bull run now, I think with this particular cycle, I just feel that, I hate to say it, but just memes have got credibility. You know what I mean? There's I don't know what the total market cap is of memes now, but it'd be over 100 billion surely.
Speaking of memes,
Brett's another one that is pretty well liked, isn't it?
Yeah, it's on base chain. You got Brett and Andy, and these are two memes that actually I got a little bit, took a little bite off, and I got a little bit of Brett, a little bit of Andy. Supo loves these ones, the Supo man.
Yeah, he does.
He got me going on him. I said, hey, what the heck? I'll throw a little bit in and see what happens. And you can see just recently, Brett's up 33% in the last day. So it's performing well. It dropped all the way down to, I don't know, recently high low. Let's see, 3 cents, 24 hours. It's been down to 2 cents in the last 30 days. It's already been up to 8 cents. And I don't know if that's the all-time high.
Probably.
Yeah, all-time high was 8 cents on this. So even sitting at 4 cents, you're 50%, 2x away from its all-time high. And this thing's, I mean, once we go in the bull market, it predicted that this thing's going to easily do another, I think he was saying like 25x yet. So this could be a really good winner, especially because what he keeps talking about is that Coinbase is supposed to be coming out with that new wallet. And they're going to try to onboard 1 billion people with this new wallet. It's going to, I almost want to say, Jishan might know a little bit more about this, but it's going to be like the one Sui wallet, like, how we did with the email. I'm thinking that Coinbase is going to go out on a limb like that. Did you do your research on the Coinbase, the new Coinbase wallet, Jishan?
I have not checked out the new Coinbase wallet. Nope.
Yeah, well, they're supposed to be coming out with a new wallet that's going to be really easy to use, and their plan is to onboard 1 billion people with it. And like Supo was saying, if they did, and they, you got Coinbase and you got base chain, these base memes could really, really do well. So Brett and Andy, but I wanted to use this to segue into something. We had a member of the community that actually reached out to me this past week. I think you guys remember him, OXDR. I sent that over to Deshaun, but he came across with a meme coin. Let me see if I can bring this up real quick. Spread the love here. All right. Oh, no, that's not it. All right. So it looks like this. NUNY coming. I think this is going to be a meme coin on base. Did you get a chance to look into this, Deshaun?
Negative. I didn't see any of this. I only saw some of the screenshot stuff, I think.
Okay. All right. So when slaves to fiat politicians, elites, and others who want to steal your wealth ask why you are in crypto, you can tell them Nanya. So, I get it. So, like Nanya business. So, stay tuned. I think this is he just came up with this. I think he's trying to round up some liquidity and stuff and get this token produced. And I think it's going to be coming out on base chain. So, you can see there's in phases here. Phase 1, 2, and 3. Sell Genesis NFTs for initial liquidity. Each NFT is $25 and will earn up to 200% return plus 50,000 Nanya. Airdrop to their wallet. Launch Nanya on base chain. Marketing promotions, contest, airdrop blitz. Get listed on Dex Screener, CoinMarketCap, and CoinGecko. This is in phase 2. Reward NFT holders weekly from 1% tax fees. Phase 3, always continue airdrops, giveaway contests, invite for income and growth to grow treasury, build out ecosystem so treasury can reward holders. So if you guys, I can link this up for you and you can come check this out. And this is OXDR. He's been on the show a few times. Good guy. He's got good opinions on the crypto space. So if you guys want to look into this, feel free to do so. Shout out to him. All right. So
speaking of meme coins, I just sent you a chart for Trunk.
Okay.
That thing has been doing crazy well lately.
Thank
Sure
you.
has.
I just clicked on that too when you said that. That's funny. Here we go. Trunk, baby.
Zoom into like a 15-minute or an hourly chart. It's pumping so hard right now. And this this token is on BNB chain and Solana. So this is on Radium on Solana as far as if people want to LP for this.
There we go. All right, so this is the 15-minute and the 1 hour. This is the 1 hour. Looks pretty nice right here. Now, with this doesn't mirror the price of the Solana token, or is this the same exact price on Solana as well?
Well, that one right there is the one on Pancake Swap on BNB chain. It's Trunk BUSD, so that's just the USD price.
Okay, so if we go on the Solana Trunk, is that a different price then?
No, it's bridgeable. I guess you can bridge it through Wormhole from BNB chain over to Solana. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. That's paired with USDC on Radium.
Nice. So it's the same chart basically.
Yep. Yeah, it's the same token. It's just on two different chains now. I don't know why. I have no idea why it's pumping so hard, but it's pumping hard.
Well, it's good to see that the project's still going. I mean,
I wish I had bought a big bag for like 5 cents each, man.
Yeah.
But
we can't predict the future, you know. So, especially with Elephant, we've had our ups and downs with Elephant, you know. So it's been rough, you know.
What's the Elephant community like now? Is it still pretty buoyant, or have people sort of fallen away a little bit?
I haven't been in there, but you know, every time I have been in there in the last couple of months, it's the same story. They're always like super bullish. It's a good community. I just, you know, I made my money on Elephant. I'm still holding the NFTs. I have like 43 of the Elephant Money NFTs. So, I mean, I'm still vested. I just sold all of my tokens so I could get into other things.
Right.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if this pulls back or keeps pumping upward. I mean, wasn't Trump supposed to be pegged to $1 too? So isn't that still like way below peg? Or is that?
Well, that was
Yeah,
so that was the story until like a couple of months ago. So now it's not meant to be a stable coin. It's just a I believe it's a fixed supply token. I should probably look into that. But I don't really I don't really care. I bought like, I don't know, several $100s worth of trunk 6 months ago, maybe, and just locked it in. There's a contract on elephant.money called Trumpet. It's a very simple contract. You put trunk tokens in. There's a 5% tax that I believe is burned. And then you get a certain number of Trumpet tokens, and the Trumpet price always goes up. So like every time somebody deposits more trunk into that protocol, the ratio of how many Trumpet tokens you get for your trunk tokens just keeps going up. So you get fewer Trumpet tokens. So everybody that's already in Trumpet, you know, the value of the trunk tokens that they have in Trumpet just keeps going up in terms of more trunk tokens. And then the catch is, like, when you finally withdraw your trunk out of Trumpet, there's another 5% tax. That's how the price keeps going up. So it's basically just like a staking protocol, kind of like Faucet, really. When there's a tax going in and a tax coming back out, but the price keeps going up. So you end up, if you can hodl for long enough, you end up getting more trunk tokens out than whatever you put in, and that's where I am right now. Plus, the price is going, you know, bananas. And I think I bought most of my trunk somewhere around definitely less than 20 cents. So I feel like I bought it for like anywhere from 11 to 15 cents, something like that. I have to look at my records, but Brian is asking, trunk to Trumpet contract now, it says 0 in my deposits. You're probably not connected, or maybe you have the wrong account tuned in on your Rabby.
Yeah, he also had another question before that. He said, hey, Brandon, I bought into trunk temper. I think you meant to say Trumpet contract, but now it does not show my wallet. It says 0 trunk staked. Why is this?
I don't know. I'm not having that issue. You're probably on the wrong wallet.
Yeah, try reconnecting your wallet, Brian. Hey, sounds like a technical difficulty. All right, so let's play another game. This is always a fun game. We'll head back over to CoinMarketCap. And all right, I'm new. I got $1,000. I want to invest in crypto. What do I do with it? Starting with you, by these dips.
What do I do with it? Well, I guess it depends on what sort of risk profile you've got in the first place. If a relatively low risk, you go and buy yourself $1,000 worth of Bitcoin. If you want to go out a little bit further down the rabbit hole, you'd maybe go 50 or 70% Bitcoin and the rest in ETH. And then, you know, if you've got a very, I mean, I could rattle off 20 different sort of portfolios, but I mean, yeah, you can go all the way down to $1,000 worth of degen tokens, meme tokens, you know, trying to make that 100, 200x. So it really depends where you're coming from in the first place. I think for For most people, though, $1,000 is an amount that they would consider to be somewhat expendable. So, yeah, I would be perhaps looking at some more high-risk plays. I'd be looking at stuff in DePIN, AI, and gaming. They'd be the areas that I'd be looking at if you want to sort of try and get a big return out of that $1,000. So, yeah. But again, it just depends where you're coming from.
Nice.
Hey, Mr. Big, I'm seeing the low on Trunk at about 3.6 cents, brother. So it definitely got a lot lower than 8 cents. Maybe you're looking at the Trunk on Solana, because that was only recently launched over on Solana. But on BNB chain, it's been around since the very beginning, almost the very beginning of Elephant Money. So.
Nice. How about you, Brandon? You got I'm brand new. I got $1,000. What do I want to invest in when it comes to crypto?
Well, I'm all about generating passive income, and so I'm also partial to being completely liquid, right? So if there's an emergency and you need that $1,000 back, I mean, maybe the value has gone down, but if you need it, you need it. So I like providing liquidity for two tokens that I'm bullish on. So for example, I'm very bullish on BNB. So I'm providing V3 liquidity. By the way, if you don't know how to do V3 liquidity, I have a couple of different tutorial videos on my channel, including like a little 14, almost 15-minute video that's like from the very beginner of providing liquidity on a concentrated liquidity pool on a DEX. But I love that. I have, $1,000 can do pretty well, especially if you have some time to manage the position and sort of, designate your range and do some strategic rebalancing of the position. And sort of dial it in as far as where you want your highs to be and your lows. And then especially if my latest thing with V3 is providing, you always have to provide liquidity for a pair of tokens. So a lot of people will go for something like BNB and USDT, which nothing wrong with that. But I like to provide liquidity for a pool such as BNB and FTM, Phantom, right? Both are legit cryptocurrencies in their own right. Neither one is a stable coin. So, and then they're pretty well correlated, especially, when you look at DeFi Llama, and shout out to Jashawn for cluing me in on that. There's a little correlation matrix, and correlation just means that the two tokens kind of move in lockstep. So BNB and Phantom, for example, if BNB is going up, chances are pretty good Phantom is going up as well. And so the prices of BNB versus Phantom relative to each other is pretty stable. And that's exactly what you want when you're providing liquidity. You really don't want the price to move up and down much. You want to be able to have a nice tight range so you're getting a nice APR and not having to do a bunch of rebalancing, because like I said, there's costs associated with rebalancing. So that's what I would do. I would hop onto my channel, learn how to provide liquidity, and then I'd take that $1,000, financial advice, of course, and I'd put it into Pancake Swap on something like BNB and Phantom, or BNB and Near. Near's been doing really well. Even BNB Cake, BNB Doge, and the prices will be relatively stable. You can have a pretty tight range, maybe 3-4%, decent APRs, maybe 500-600% APRs, and then if and when the bull market returns, you're earning these fees, and the US dollar value of your position just keeps going up, because BNB is going up in dollar value, FTM is going up in dollar value, all the fees that you've collected and harvested to your wallet, that is going up in value too. So it's really beautiful. And again, like I said earlier, you have to have, well, in my opinion, I like to have a really long-term mindset on this and not sweat those dips when they come. You know, Bitcoin and BNB and everything else was down. What? I mean, we dropped like 15% or something from the recent all-time highs. So you just have to keep grinding at it, keep collecting those fees, keep building your little moon bag. And then eventually, you know, the fact that crypto is hard money and dollars are soft money, that's going to play out. It's going to happen, in my opinion.
Good explanation. And how about you, Deshaun? Brand new, you got $1,000. What are you going to do?
I'm going to do like a combination. I really like having access to my funds and being able to move it. So I'm not staking anything long-term. I'm going to do the research, find out about different things, find out about wallets, find out about DeFi, find out about the different chains, learn how to bridge. And then I would put probably majority of it into something V3. But then, you know, maybe find one asset, maybe two assets that maybe could potentially be a long-term hold and set that aside. But I mean, I say this lately because everyone has their own budgets. $1,000 just to invest, I would probably put most of it in something that's going to create passive income versus trying to buy and hold something. If I had that amount of money, I think the amount of money would kind of change the strategy.
Yeah, good explanation. Yeah, again, you know, especially if you're new. I mean, I liked what everybody said. Bitcoin, you know, when I started off, it was a good advice. One of the good pieces of advice I followed was learn about Bitcoin first and study Bitcoin, understand how it works, do as much possible research as you can, research the history of Bitcoin, what it means, basically figure out the halvings and stuff, what they mean, and you know, just get a good grasp around Bitcoin, because basically all the other tokens follow Bitcoin. So by understanding Bitcoin first, I figured that was a good step for me to start understanding some of the other tokens and how they work, especially when it comes to like market caps and liquidity, you know, and volume, which this stuff I'm still learning about. Passive income came later in my journey, and it's definitely something that can be done, but you really got to have your pencil sharp and know what you're doing. Like Deshaun said, you got to learn how to bridge. You got to, you know, you really got to know on the different blockchains and stuff what you're doing. So, you know, getting started on an exchange is a good place to start. I think recently, like I've been sort of shifting my strategy. I want to try to hold on to some dry powder at all times. I think coming into this next bull market, I want to have a little bit of dry powder on the sidelines at all times to be able to have some opportunities come, you know, and be ready for them. I think the lack of, like most of my investing struggle is the lack of having dry powder. And what happens is I'll end up selling a token to get into another token. And I know you guys know this story. You know, you're selling out of the other tokens to get into something that you wanted to get into that came by quick. So I'm going to try, you know, to whatever tokens I buy for long-term bull run portfolio is to buy and hold them tokens until we get into the right times where I want to be in a profit-taking strategy. And
I mean, that can go both ways. I look back at my transactions and the rewards that I was earning on Animal Farm, you know, back in 2022 and even in 2023. I look back and I'm just like, oh my God. So like, I think I know what you're talking about. And I think, but there's also a good argument to be made for like, whenever you make some profits, you know, in whatever token, whether it's a meme coin or whatever, you know, take some of those profits off the table and throw it into either Bitcoin or BNB or, you know, something that you're gonna hodl for a long period of time.
Yeah, most definitely. And you know, you sort of got to understand too, like what your goals are, you know, and what you're going for. There's a lot of like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, you know, you're looking at 3 maybe a 3x in Bitcoin. If we're lucky, we get a nice 3x out of Bitcoin and everything else that follows. Ethereum, you're only looking maybe a 5x. Solana maybe 5x. But I mean, being new, and if you only have a small amount of cash, if you're like me, you want to be looking for something that's more or less 10x to 20x tokens. And they're out there,
Yeah, but to your point, though, that comes down to, again, it's education, right? Understand market cap, understand tokenomics. Don't just buy $1 million Doge because Doge is cheaper. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with Doge, but I think a lot of the influx into Doge last time was just, oh, this thing's only a couple cents, I'm going to buy a bunch of it, versus why would I ever want to buy Bitcoin when that thing's 40, 50K? I can never have one. You know what I mean? Like, it's just some of that mentality is there. But I think Brandon brought up an excellent point there. If you have $1,000 and you can put it into V3 where you're creating passive income, you can use that passive income to then DCA into those other assets, whether it's Bitcoin or the assets that you think have a higher chance to 10x or to 20x, like to your point, without adding additional capital.
Yeah, most definitely. I know we were talking a couple weeks ago about Beam. Did anybody get it? Did you get a chance to get any Beam stacked up by these dips?
No, I didn't. I was watching the price very closely during the week. I was hoping to pick it up in the teens, but it didn't quite fall that low. But look, it's a pretty heady market cap as it stands. It's $1 billion or something like that, isn't it? What is it? I can't read that.
Yeah, 1 billion.
Yeah, I was sort of hoping it might have breached that 0.2 mark, but it didn't. And one of the things I've sort of learned over the journey is I'm pretty patient. If it doesn't hit my target price, I just don't buy it. There's just, there's so many opportunities out there, and I think, the market at the moment is going to reward the patient. You've got, hopefully people out there have got their target list of tokens they want to buy, and they're sort of the price that they'd like to be able to acquire them. And if it doesn't hit on that one, it might hit on another. I'm not too parochial about what I own. It's very important that you get good entries. So, as I said, the only thing I really bought through the week was Alephium, and that's done very well. And I sort of added to my stack there. So,
nice.
Yeah, but there's value all over the place at the moment.
One of our biggest holdings is right here in QNT, and the previous all-time high for QNT, the last market, it says here at 428. I thought it was at like 600, but 2021 September 11th, still down 75%. Now, if Bitcoin is the 3x, and this 3x, this could possibly get up to 1,200. I've heard predictions anywhere from 1,200 to 2,000 to maybe even 3,000 if we get a really good frothy market. So I guess my goal is just to hold on to this and then chart out my profit-taking strategy, so I could sell a certain percentage going on the way up and taking profits the whole way. So this way, when we do it hit the peak of the bull market, I've already sold out on all my tokens. That's one of my goals, to get this one really, really in a good profit-taking strategy and really keep a close eye on this one. For this is one of our biggest holdings. So hopefully it all goes well. I'm really laser focused on this, and I hope it continues to do well. But that's the kind of laser focus you really need in this game. I think people come in this game and think it's a get rich quick. At least I did. And I've made, I can't even count on both hands and both feet of the amount of mistakes I've made trying to do that, and I've really got to change my strategy because it just ain't happening yet. But like you said, the reward the patient is just about being patient, I think, in this market. And don't FOMO in. If you got money on the sidelines, wait for your price target, your price range, because it'll get there sooner or later. And we'll continue to get some massive corrections, 30%, 25%, 15%. It happens all the time. So I'm sure that we'll see a lot more buying opportunities, a lot more new tokens coming out. I mean, that's one of the biggest reasons I like watching Supo Man, because he's always got the alpha on the new and upcoming tokens. But I don't know, you guys got anything else you want to add tonight?
I don't think so. Hopefully the market really gets its groove on as we get into June. I think just a bit of patience at the moment is required, and hopefully a big second half to the year.
I guess we could go over my Sui position real quick.
I've got to get me some Sui.
Some Sui. Happy birthday to Sui. Their 1 year anniversary.
I'm definitely going to buy this one. I'll buy it over the next. When we next speak, I'll be a Sui owner. Sui, whatever you want.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I just claimed my rewards here. I had over $100 worth of rewards, and now what I'm doing now is I'm going to hold that Sui in my wallet. I'm just going to hold the token. So anything at my rewards, I'm going to claim and hold the token and take my USD portion and turn it into Sui. Continue to buy Sui just like that. Also continue to keep my liquidity in my range on here on Sui and continue to earn rewards. It's down to 55% APR right now, but it was as high as 200 the other day. And
there's a huge drop in volume today, at least on turbos. The CETUS volume is still relatively high. And then I'll just point out one thing that I'm doing. And again, this is not financial advice by Z-Dips, but I have turbos liquidity and also CETUS with SWI and USDC. And I've been putting my SWI rewards into SWI Lend. Which is the same folks that created Soul Lend, and they're hinting at an airdrop. So they keep adding a bunch of features. I think the APR is maybe about 20%, but it's single stake. You're just lending. You can withdraw at any time. I mean, obviously there's risks there with lending, as with anything. But I'm taking the SWI portion of my rewards and then lending it on the back end, hopefully to get an airdrop from SWI Lend protocol.
Nice.
All right. Yeah, so happy birthday to Sui. All right. I think that's about it, guys. We're going to wrap it up. Any closing arguments? Any thing you guys want to say before we
closing arguments?
I rest my case. V3 liquidity. I rest.
You know, I've been watching this new series on Netflix came out about O.J. Simpson again. The American Made or something, and there's broken up into 5 episodes. They're about an hour and a half each. I think I'm on 4, so it's pretty crazy, that whole story, man. Like,
I've been watching Full Swing, the golf one.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
You seen that one by Z-Divs?
Yeah, I have. The same crew that have done the tennis one and the Formula One. They're all good series, even if you don't have a specific interest in that particular sport. But yes, I have seen Full Swing. It's great.
Is that on Netflix as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry about that, Johnny. You were saying the O.J. Simpson. If the glove doesn't fit, you must have quit.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they really break it down in this one. I mean, I watched some of the one that Cuban Gooding Jr. was in, and John Travolta. Like, that one was pretty comical with them actors, but this was actually where they really go through his whole life and break it down to like when he was in high school and then went through college, how big of a college athlete he was and how recognized, and, you know, in the times that we were in at that time, you know, like everything that was happening around him, like he wasn't even associated with, you know, as far as like the movement that was going on with Martin Luther King and all that stuff. Like, he stayed totally disassociated with all that stuff, and like he was just straightforward, being himself and being an athlete, and, you know, shows him going to the Buffalo Bills, and then, you know, going all the way through his whole lifestyle and his mannerisms, his ex-wives and everything, like just leading up to the whole thing. Is just crazy to watch and see someone like that with that much stature and fame to be able, you know, just throw all that away. And, you know, this the whole story is crazy.
But the best thing he ever did, though, was the Naked Gun movies, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, hands down.
Yeah.
Leslie Nielsen.
Oh yeah.
Nice beaver. Yeah, just had it stuffed.
Yeah, them were good.
Legendary movies.
Everywhere I look, I'm reminded of her. There's just two water tower things.
Oh
Very
man.
Is Leslie Nielsen still alive? Do you know?
I want to say he did pass away, but I'm
Yeah, I
not
think
sure.
he did.
Because he also did those. The movie was called Flying High in Australia and I think in Asia, but the name was banned in the US because of its reference to drugs, and I believe the movie was called Airplane.
Yep.
Yeah.
Airplane.
Yeah, they changed the name of it for the American market. They
Yeah.
weren't the original name of that movie was Flying High.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So
That's really good, yeah.
over here, that's what it was called.
I just sent you a quick link for like a final kind of comment.
I love those movies. That gives you an idea of my sense of humor.
Yeah, absolutely. Those are classics.
Might have to watch one tonight.
I quite like the Chevy Chase vacation movies too. They're hilarious.
Oh no
Yeah,
shit!
Yeah, I heard this the other day. I
No,
think
that's
Seth-
Neeson.
Yeah, but he's gonna star in a Naked Gun reboot,
Oh, really?
and I think Seth MacFarlane might be a part of it.
Cool.
Well, that'll be good.
Yeah, it says right there.
I will find you, and I will kill you.
Yeah, I can't see him being as funny, but we'll see. All right, guys. Well, we're gonna wrap it up right there. Thanks everybody for coming out tonight. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you check out Brandon, the DeFi guy, streaming on Wednesdays and Mondays. Check out Buy These Dips from Crypto Badgers, JVANQUISH as well. Thank you guys again for coming out. Make sure to hit that like button, share this stream with all your friends. Let's get the word out about crypto. Let's help each other out. Let's learn together, and we can get far in this next bull market. We are so excited. Can't wait. Let's get this crypto.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Take care.
Cheers.
Later.
Later.